This is the Open University.
So I got the idea to do a Fun in Paris video because somebody left a comment this morning on my Fun in Berlin video, which was me just going around with a camera in Berlin a couple of months ago. And they said, nice editing. What a shame this channel has so few views. I always find the roofscapes of Paris kind of resonant and imagine what kind of lives people have in these jaggedy landscapes where the architecture changes up on the roof. You can see all the crisscrossing jet trails of people wishing to come here or possibly escape from here. With her true love. It's like a spiral staircase and a turret of a chateau. Actually, it's a 70s brutalist building. This is a nice thing about Paris. There's so many mirrors everywhere. You can check your look. People consider it important to appear on the stage of the public street with the right costume. So along here there's actually, is it here? Yeah, it's here. There's a secret street, which I only learned about because of Google Maps, but you can go through here. You just press the button. And then there's this very charming little street away from all the sirens and the hubbub. Endless emergency sirens and motorbikes and cute, yes, very French. Sort of atelier, this is their creative area in the Backstreets where people make chairs and things. A cute blue construction work. Yeah, this is the warehouse. This is a weird old toy shop that nobody ever seems to come to. Very strange. If you need a chameleon, and then magically you just emerge out onto the Rue de Charonne. So now we're coming into the sort of area that was trendy in the 80s and 90s. This is the Bastille area, the 11th arrondissement. We've got a gallery, Promo Style. So I remember coming here, there was a record shop called Bimbo Tower, which was sort of run by people who loved Japanese pop music, and it was kind of amazing selection of Japanese import records, and then French bands like Dragibus who were influenced by Japanese pop. We were watching a video recently in which Japanese people talk about their disappointments about Paris, and one of the major ones was not enough public toilets. Well, there are some. Around this area there's a lot of cosplay and manga shops, and this is where you can dress up as an orange whelp. This modernist church always fascinates me because the sort of combination of Christianity and modernism is not immediately apparent. Christianity takes a modernist turn, a didactic modernist turn. We think of modernism as very rational, of course, and Christianity is not, but maybe it's the other way around, who knows? Baptismal font. of the spots where I always stop because it's got these arrows which have a rounded edge. I love 70s shaped cheap sale price arrows. So Noémie thinks the mattress shop is a front for illegal drug dealing or something, but actually it is a necessity in a city which has been destroyed by bedbugs. Yeah, here you see typical mattresses infested with billions of bedbugs. For you stalkers, this is where Toog used to live. Actually, an amazing lobby in here. I like the tiles. 70s brutalist. He's now moved to an even more 70s brutalist structure in the Olympiade, the 13th arrondissement. I don't think we can go down this street because there's some major emergency. Not sure what was going on there. Probably arson in an abandoned shop for the insurance money. How I loved my coat of many colours. The nice thing about this upstairs at Merci is that you can sit in these sofas and relax if you've had a busy day of shopping. And no longer can you do that at Conran because the Conran store closed down. A bit like Marks and Spencer's, another British outpost closing post-Brexit. I came from Korea to Paris and I went to Merci, and then I could read a book about Korean culture. Or Wes Anderson, who lives in Paris, actually has a studio in Montparnasse. This is what I call the feast and famine style. Everything's very rustic and broken. Currently my favorite color. Some exfoliating ginger here for if you meet a carnivorous farringale-jawed Murray eel. This is Madame Bovary, Meurtre de Provence, the morals of Provence, and actually in the 19th century this was banned. There was a court case, actually it failed. But as you can see now in the 21st century it's been censored. Not a single word in here. This street is marked, I call it the Space Invader Street because it's got a large Space Invader mural. I always like this shop window because it's got a Greek classical bust and it's got a splash of orange, 2 splashes of orange, and some retro analog tech. So in many ways this is consonant. This is a kind of mirror image of the Paris in Seoul video that I made in Seoul, because in Seoul we went to the boot cafe. Here you can see this was an old cordonnerie, an old shoe and boot shop. And in Seoul they actually have 2 branches of boot cafe, both of which make references architecturally and decoratively to this original branch in Paris. These are the Martino Gamper Arnold Circus stools, which are impossible to find here. Another Brexit victim because you can't actually buy these anymore. They have to be imported from Britain. So I've been joking to Noémie that we're doxing people today, and this is where Casey Spooner from Fisher Spooner lives, or did live. I think he has a flat in Berlin where he mostly lives. I ran into Cindy Green, who was a dancer in Fisher Spooner, one of the founding members actually, in a cafe a couple of weeks ago, and she said Casey's flat here is being refurbished, but according to some interviews he lives up there. And this bar Le Progrès is where Casey Spooner from Fisher Spooner drinks his coffee and liqueurs and things. If you want to stalk him. This is actually where I met up with my friend Antonin and Kyoka, the Japanese electronic noise musician, just before the New Year. As you can see, Paris has been cleaned up for the Olympics. This used to be a very chic shop, but now it's shabby chic. This is the mairie, the town hall of the what arrondissement is this? The 23rd arrondissement, and they're going to have Chinese New Year dragon dance, I guess. We've just had a fashion week. It seems to be always fashion week in Paris. I guess you could say it is always fashion week in Paris, but in terms of the events, this has been a locus of many fashion shows and things. And the most fashionable shop probably in the whole of Paris in terms of my sense of what is fashion is this one coming up here. It's called the Broken Arm, and they have a cafe run by Dreaming Man, who are some Japanese baristas, and it's closed today because it's Monday. Oh, nice conceptual window here. It looks like here. Are they not open? They're half open. We're closed. So this is the Rue du Petit Toile. I can never pronounce that. Petit Toile, c'est ça. And it's kind of catwalky street because OFR bookshop has been here for a long time, and there's a lot of posers, and also there's an art school there. So what does one talk about in a cafe like this, in an area like this? One talks about literature, I find. The French Nouveau Roman. I'm thinking about Alain Robbe-Grillet because yesterday I saw a novel of his in the market. It was called The End of Henry of Corinth. And it's actually the third volume of his autobiography, in which he decides which is more important, art or sexual perversity. And he decides in this volume, the third and last volume, written before he died, that being a sexual pervert was more important. Nutty, fruity, a little overtone of manure, and a beautiful picture of a heart sprouting out of some lilies. Naomi's telling me this is a street art of a clitoris, and that also the latte art we were just looking at or drinking in our coffee was a clitoris.
It was not, but it did look like that.
We're trying to work out whether this idiotic bird, which thinks spring has already come, is a private or a public bird. In other words, if it's in a cage somewhere in one of these gardens, or if it's in a tree, free.
Idiotic.
This is OFR Librairie, the bookshop, and it's another example of the shrinking global or non-global world, because there used to be branches of this in London, in Tokyo, in Seoul there is still a branch, actually a very nice branch, although it's a bit more soap and candles than this one, which is fashion and books and art and design and stuff. These tote bags are by Bless Berlin, who I've patronized in the past. Yeah, I had this black clown costume which I paid 500 euros for at Bless Berlin, Bless Fashion Lab, Bless exhibition. Istanbul designed by anyone. Wow. Here we have the classic 19th century Metropolitan Art Nouveau entrance, and we have an exhibition, artists and their mothers, and a Big Mac. Style quoi? This is a very sad, emotional sight for us here, because we're going to look in the window of Relique, which has closed down. So much has changed really in the last couple of years in Paris. COVID obviously accelerated those changes. But here was the second location of Relique, which was our favorite second-hand shop, curated by Clara Victoria, influencer. And she's decided to leave Paris because people on the street were too rude. Oh my God, and because there's too much dog shit on the ground, no doubt. But she's just abandoned her shop, which is kind of amazing. This is what used to be, still is, Relique, actually. Look at these beautiful old 70s clothes. We used to feast on these. We would come almost every day. They got sick of us, I think. Fermé définitivement. Merci à toutes, tous et toutes. À très vite. But she's, as far as I can see from her social media, she's refurbishing an old inherited house in the countryside. Where exactly is that, Noémie? Do you know? It's somewhere down south. Let's not dox her. She's in a village down south. And she just made quite emotional ranting videos saying that she hated Parisians in Paris, and because people were too rude on the street. But it's all still there. That's the amazing thing. She should sell us this cheap. This is not Relique, but it could be. The thing is, her prices were actually quite expensive. I used to like the bin where everything was either €1 for a while or €5. But actually, when her prices went up again, it was very expensive. So goodbye, Relique. It's been a joy. That's actually quite cheap for Paris, 275,000 for 28 meters squared. 1 million. 1 million. 29,000. Oh, c'est quoi? It's by the Canal Saint-Martin as well. It's a parking space. Here also they're preparing for Chinese New Year. We have Chinese lanterns around the République and the statue of Marianne. It's Marianne, right? Or is it Liberty, Égalité, Fraternité? It's all the same. Here on this corner site, on the opposite side of the République Square, you see Habitat, which is very sadly neglected and has homeless people living in the windows and things. It's one of the last outposts of the British Empire in France, because Conran, who of course started Habitat, the Conran store down at the Sèvres Babylon area has closed. Very shocking. It closed in December without much notice and sold everything off very cheap. That used to be a beautiful example of my Britain, in other words, the Britain of 1960s values and cheap design for the masses and, you know, kind of progressive values that the rest of the world looked up to, part of swinging London, I guess. This Habitat will probably close, I'm going to make a guess, within the next 12 months. This is a high-end design store with Acne and other brands. We're approaching the Rue de Marseille, which has various interesting shops and cafes. This is chez Jacob, or Bonjour Jacob, which has coffee, magazine, book and more. And they have copies of Popeye magazine for city boys, which has a Girlfriend 24 special edition, if you're in the market for Girlfriend in 24. So Noémie did a quick translation and wants to point out that it's date ideas for your new Girlfriend in 24. It's not actually a pickup magazine. This is the Rue de Marseille, which is a nice walk up from the town of République area to the Canal Saint-Martin. We like this shop, Centre Commercial. It has a sale on as well. This is where I bought my David Bowie Hunky Dory sweater. They have a lot of knitwear, which is kind of Scottish cottage industry. Here's Agnes B. Noémie wants to look at fabric here for her Korean hanbok. Oh, it's closed because it's Monday.
Well, I don't think they would have this kind of fabric anyway.
No. The next door is Buddy Buddy, which is like a juice bar. Yeah. They're pumping out. How do you translate that? When you mean to say that...
When you hear someone talking badly
about Jewish people, fix your
crazy,
ears.
they're
They're talking about you, friends, family. Noémie says it's a bit like the quote where first they came for the gays and I said nothing, then they came for the Jews. And this is a bee outside Plante pour tous. It's going to sting us now. And rather unseasonal bee fertilizing the plants in Plante pour tous, plants for everybody. These frames are amazeballs. if you're into hipster frames, but they're very expensive here. They're like €60 or something. Whereas the ones I get in the market, like this, these ones were €1. €1. It's a typical Burgundy restaurant with a Japanese sign saying that they're closed or open.
You see, to sit outside, they have maybe 1-2 tables in the street.
This has branches in Japan as well. There's one in Kyoto. I like their design. Parisian texture. I'm fascinated by sort of crumbly ceramic textures and things. This is another a mural by Space Invader guy, who is of course Banksy. That's another live on. I think we're in the street where there's a second-hand shop called Thanks God I'm a VIP, which I used to buy clothes from in the 90s. That's coming up very soon. We throw beans at the Devil Mask on the 3rd, 4th and 5th of February. That's Setsubun. The 3rd and 4th of February, which is Setsubun. This is mukbang, basically. I hate that word and I hate the activity in videos, but basically when you get your food, then you eat a little bit of it and you make a kind of expression. What's that word for? Is it gauhan? Like the sex expression? You meant to make the food version of it. Is it gau? I don't know the word. You meant to make a food expression. Mine is luckily hidden behind my dark glasses. No, it's age. Age something. This is a skate shop where you can paint your skateboard. For graffiti and skate and art gallery. That's it. And jelly sandals for 14 euros. You don't often see these. Méduse, they're called in French. Medusa sandals. This guy is amazing. I love Matthew Bogart's. It's already happened though. December. So this is the Passage Paradis, which is like a subcultural area of Paris. Subcontinental, not subcultural. Well, it is also subcultural. This is where I buy my curry. It's a company called Ashoka, which sells in this grocery here. But this grocery is actually like a Indian but Christian. It's some weird Christian sect which is in India. You can buy all these floral accoutrements. I also buy my PG Tips tea here. These clothes are quite interesting actually. These are children's. I like these colours. This is kind of one of my colours. And green. So this is Ganesha, and this is like the Hindu pantheon. So maybe they're not Christians, but I have the sense that they are Christians. They're called Velan, Passage Paradis. Now it's not even like 4 o'clock in the afternoon yet, but the sun is setting behind the buildings anyway, behind this ancient arch which used to be one of the gates of Paris. It was based on the Arch of Hadrian in Rome. It was built in like the 15th century or something, and then rebuilt in the 17th century. I have to look up these facts, but I always find it very atmospheric. This street is very, very multicultural street with a lot of cheap stuff to buy and eat and drink. And then this arch at the end. This is further down. It becomes the Rue Saint-Denis, which used to be and still is rather infamous as a prostitution location. But it really has a sense of inner city vibrancy, I think. It begins, alas, Paris 2024. We're probably going to try and avoid the Olympics as much as possible. So now we're about to catch our line, the 8th line, back home. No video of Paris would be complete without a little shot of the metro. These distinctive musical tones. Les Fourberies de Scapin. This is by Molière, the clowning of Scapin, or the clown. A couple of brown turds here advertising something. Dijon. What is Dijon? It's a food, a complement to your diet. Digestion. So some very happy turds. Okay, this is an interesting piece of history, musical history, where our local supermarket is Carrefour. And this is where I've been coming to buy bread and milk and stuff recently. If you walk in here, the supermarket is on your left, but on your right is this door marked La Seine Recording Studios. This is where I recorded 30 years ago in 1994. Kahimi Kari sings Momus in Paris. I Am a Kitten EP. Isn't that amazing? Wow. Here we have some blossom. Must be plum blossom.
Open University.